Collard green soup. One of my favorite categories of food is soup, especially during the fall and winter season. Being a survivalist, I strive to create soup from just about any foods which I maintain in my emergency food supply cupboard. Over the years I have made some very extraordinary but tasty meals by merely making good use of my available supplies. Today I decided to undertake creating a collard green soup. The flavors found in this soup are so intense and pleasing to your taste that you will soon discover this recipe to be made on a routine basis. It's the perfect meal for a cool fall evening. I have always enjoyed a few greens every now and then, however I cannot eat too many of them or too often. I must admit that most people's preferred method of preparing their collard greens is to boil the heck out of them for several hours along with perhaps a ham bone tossed into the pot. Possibly a few people may simply cook their collards and serve them with a bit of vinegar and oil splashed upon them. I have eaten them made by both methods many times in the past. Often when confronted with a strange or unusual soup combination, the major of the people will quickly stick their nose up at the food. This is the usual response brought about with the mention of collard greens. I have heard the same jokes and remarks concerning grass clippings for a long time. The point to be made here is that in an emergency setting, this grass clipping, as they are referred, can keep you alive. As I often like to do in my survival recipes, is to create my recipe so that it requires no refrigerated foods. In times of emergencies we may not have any sort of power to keep the appliances working, so I prefer to go at it from the viewpoint of a total collapse of our infrastructure. Collard green soup ingredients: 1 can of chopped collard greens, 1 can of white limas or black-eyed peas, 5 cups of water, 2 chicken bouillon cubes, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon thyme, 1/8 cup of dehydrated celery. Place the 5 cups of water in a large pot and bring to a boil. Crumble the bouillon cubes and add to the water as it is boiling. Add the can of collard greens and the beans at this time, whether you are using limas or black-eyed peas. Put the onion powder, thyme and dehydrated celery into the pot next. Bring all the ingredients again to a rapid boil and then lower the heat to a simmer. Continue to cook for another 20 minutes to permit the flavors to blend together properly. If the soup appears to be drying out, add only enough water to keep it wet and liquidy. Remove the pot from the heat and set it aside to cool for a short period of time. As an option, you could serve the soup warm with a sprinkle of shredded cheese and croutons placed on top. This recipe will make enough soup for approximately 6 servings. You could use kale or mustard greens in this same recipe, or any sort of broadleaf greens for that matter if you desire. Why not surprise your family this evening with something exciting? And collard green soup. One of my favorite categories of food is soup, especially during the fall and winter season. Being a survivalist, I strive to create soup from just about any foods which I maintain in my emergency food supply cupboard. Over the years I have made some very extraordinary but tasty meals by merely making good use of my available supplies. Today I decided to